What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Autoxin Gaming. Today, people, today we are going to be going the full leaked list for the Midterm Paradox box. Now, this got released today, or, the leaks did at least. This will be coming out October 6th, so I highly recommend you check out somebody else's video online of them doing their opening. They are being paid by Konami or everything, and it's just really nice to be seeing this type of content all over YouTube right now. So we're going to be going over the full card list right now. Number 1 on our list is Avian, 2 is Burstinatrix, 3 is Clayman, 4 is Sparkman, 5 is Goddess of the Third Eye, Winged Karibo, and then we get into some of the newer cards being Dark Catapulter. Every card we just went over was in the GX box itself, so all these are brand new cards. So Dark Catapulter, Bubbleman, I guess is not a brand new card, my bad. Blade Edge is not either. Wildheart also isn't. But we got Bladesman, which was already confirmed. This is a poly searcher for the deck. Polymerization got another reprint. H Heated Heart comes to the format, which is really nice. Arch Righteous Justice is also here as well. We're looking at Skyscraper 2 Hero City, which is probably going to be one of the main ways we see heroes being played in this format. We also have a Hero Lives, probably one of the best cards for the deck in general right now. Being able to just special summon your materials from your deck is incredible, and I think this is a very strong card for heroes and something that kind of makes them an actual playable deck. We also have this Sabotail, the Philosopher's Stone, which is a card that Jaden Yuki got from Amnail or slash Professor Banner from the anime. Spoiler alert, I guess. Hero Signal got another reprint. We also got Hero Rising, which is a definitely an interesting one, but probably one we're not going to be playing too much of. Hero Counterattack, which I believe is like our best hero trap card now. Elemental Hero Tempest, Elemental Hero Electrum, Elemental Hero Wild Wingman, and Elemental Hero Mariner, and of course my favorite card, Elemental Hero Nova Master, being our most generic speed duel Elemental Hero fusion monster. Next on our list is the Cyrus deck. We're going to be seeing Psychroid making its debut, along with Gyroid getting its reprint. Steamroid is a really nice card that we'll be seeing in this format. Drillroid is also insane for those, the Rat Box deck. It's very good for that one. We already knew UFO Roid was pretty much going to be in this deck, but we are seeing it as well. Mechanical Hound, which is like a really nice, playground boss monster, I guess, if you guys know what I mean by that. It's the card that you would show your friends on the playground when you play outside. Express Roid is also a really good card. I don't think this deck can run without it. Ambulance Roid, Submarine Roid, which is my favorite Roid, by the way. This is my all-time favorite Roid monster. Stealth Roid, Truck Roid, Rescue Roid, and Mixer Roid, which was the card I was most hopeful for. I don't think this card can really function like Express Roid without this card. Not in a good way anyway, not with current speed duels how it is. Weapon Change is a really interesting card to see. Shield Crush is awesome because, again, we're looking at Rat Box more than anything. Just being able to destroy that rat without having it float is really nice. Vehicroid Connection Zone, there was no way they were going to make this deck without printing this card. Twister gets its 1000th reprint in this set, cool. Supercharge, this card is actually kind of cool. Wonder Garage, Emergeroid Call, which is really good for this deck, being that it is a counter trap card. They pretty much released all the good cards that they needed to outside the field spell. I think that this card's really good in this deck, and it's going to make this deck definitely playable. As for our fusion monsters, we got Steam Gyroid, we got Jumbo Drill, we got Ambulance Rescue Roid, and we got Super Vehicroid Stealth Union, which was the card I was most surprised about. I didn't think we were going to get any of these Super Vehicroids at all, so seeing that we actually got one is actually really nice, but it does take 4 materials to make it, so it's going to be one of those cards we do not play. Alright, now we're getting more so into the cards I'm really hyped for. The Bastion deck is one of the decks that I am absolutely excited for. This is going to be probably one of the main decks I use this format, and it's going to be our, in my opinion, meta-defining deck. This card is actually incredible, or this deck in general is actually incredible. So first off, we got Water Dragon. We got one of my childhood favorite cards being Hyos and Ryu. I could never pronounce his name, but whenever I was a kid, this used to be like one of my boss monsters, I guess, for my deck. I would always pretend like it was my Blue Eyes White Dragon if I was an anime protagonist. It's a whole story, but yeah, I like this card a lot, so seeing that's in the format's awesome. Hydrogeddon gets its debut. I think there's 2 copies of this in the deck, as long as Oxygeddon getting its debut. This is actually a reprint, not a debut. And then we get Dirac cards, which is actually insane. I was really hoping we would get something like this. So getting Dirac Protops and also Dirac Iguanion. Both of these cards are this card in particular makes the deck playable. This card's okay, but yeah, this card's really cool. So getting Dirac cards is also incredible for this format. Carbon Deadon, we all kind of figured we were going to get this after the Serpent Night Dragon reprint, so this guy was pretty much confirmed after that. The Flame Kaiju Dogarian, or however you pronounce that. This is probably my least favorite card of the entire list. I think it's kind of like, it's not healthy for speed duels, but I'm sure we can have our own debate about this in the comment if you would like. But yeah, he's in this as well. The Water Dragon Cluster, which I honestly thought we weren't going to get because I think this card is absolutely insane, but we got it, and that blows my mind. This is why I think this deck is going to be tier 1. This card is so good. If you don't know what it does, it makes your monster's effects or attack 0. You can quick effect it, and then tribute it and summon 2 Water Dragon from your hand. This card actually does so much, and it's actually not hard at all to bring out, especially if you get these spell and trap cards. Deuterian, you have to have this card in here if you are playing Cluster. Ryoku gets this reprint. Scroll Bewitchment, which I guess is cool. A Legendary Ocean, which is awesome for like your Legendary Fisherman decks if you guys want to play that. I highly recommend it. Raikishin, like both those decks are now playable now with this card being in the format. So I would highly recommend checking those out right this second. Bonding H2O is in here, which we need for Water Dragon. But we also got Bonding D20, which is a crazy card that brings out the Water Dragon Cluster. And then we also got Living Fossil, which is amazing. This card, if you don't know, is a, what is it called? This card is a Premature Burial, which is like really, really nice. It only works for level 4 monsters. They lose attack and defense. I think it's like 1,000. Yeah, 1,000 attack and defense. And their effects are negated. So it's a very fair version of the Premature Burial. But we have monster recursion now, which is just very good for the format in general. The Curse Seal, Forbidden Spell. I guess this is a cool counter trap. And then my all-time favorite card to come from this is Bonding DHO, which just makes Water Dragon playable. You shuffle Deuterion, Hydrogeddon, and Oxygeddon from your hand or graveyard into the deck and summon the cluster from your graveyard. So, hand or graveyard. And then you can banish it from your graveyard and add Water Dragon or Water Dragon Cluster from your deck or graveyard to your hand. So it's your searcher, and not only that, but it's the way you like cheat out Cluster or regular Water Dragon. I think it's just Cluster actually. Yeah, cheat out Cluster during your opponent's turn. It's really nice. It makes the deck completely playable. Again, I think that Water Dragon Cluster is going to be the tier 1 deck of this format now, or a tier 1 deck in general, but we'll have to wait and see. That's just my meta call for right now. Going over the Paradox Brothers deck, which is also a very, very good deck that comes out of this one and brings a lot of very good cards to the format. It's going to be the start off Gate Guardian. Then we got Labyrinth's Wall here. Next on our list is my favorite cards to come into speed duels, being Clown Control, being the Crass Clown and the Dream Clown. Both of these are very insane. Dream Clown is my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh card of all time. Like, Clown Control is my favorite, like, old school deck of all time. It was my favorite deck when Duel Links first came out. It kicked off my love for Duel Links. If it wasn't for that love for Duel Links, I would have created the same love for speed duels. So yeah, Clown Control's coming to the format, baby. I'm super excited for it. Jirai Gumo's power creeping our level 4 normal summons. No longer are we playing 1900 beaters, which is kind of cool. Shadow Ghoul, well, I kind of figured this card was going to come. It's nothing worth talking about. He's a zombie, cool. Senga the Sunder, Kazi-Jin, and Sui-Jin. We need them for this deck. We got Stone Statue of Aztecs, which is really cool with half shut because your opponent takes double damage from battles involving this card. We got Ryu Kishin Clown, which I guess is really interesting. I like this card too. Kaiser Seahorse, Unshaven Angler, and Whirlwind Prodigy are all 3 cards that are to help bring out your Sanga, Suijin, and Kazi-Jin. And then we got Soul Exchange, again, to help bring them out easier. That's a reprint. Fairy Meteor Crush is brand new, being able to pierce your opponent for damage. Tribute Doll, it's another reprint. Double Summon's insane for the format in general right now. Like, this card is going to create so many interesting decks, and like, it pretty much turns on a lot of different strategies right this second. So I'm very excited to be seeing Double Summon in this. And then Judgment of Anubis, that way you can get past the spell and trap destructions that you're going through right now, and Labyrinth of Nightmare, which works perfectly in tangent with your Clown Control deck. Next on our list is Deskawala. These are just a random card that gets thrown in with it, which is really, really cool for a skill that comes out. White Magician Pakuri, which is Bash Misawa's favorite card. Des Wombat, another really interesting card. And it's really cool because any damage you take from card effects becomes 0. Haha, nice Nightmare Wheel, idiot. And then Frost and Flame Dragon is a really interesting one. You bash 1 light or 1 fire and 2 water monsters from your graveyard to summon it. And you can discard a card and target card monster on the field and destroy that target. It's cool. Sea Koala is a really powerful card to be coming to the format. I actually like this card a lot. Loud Cloud, the Storm Serpent. I've never read or seen this card before in my life, but I'm sure it's interesting. I'm sure somebody will break it somehow. So 1 tribute, banish a fire monster from your graveyard, target monster your opponent controls, destroy it, and if you do, this card gains attack, it will destroy monster's original attack. Oh, that's actually kind of cool. That's actually very cool. And then you can banish a wind monster from your graveyard, target card your opponent's spell and trap cards, and destroy it. This card is actually really interesting, I'm not going to lie. I might make a deck based around this. Fist Hope got its debut as well. I think it's kind of cool. Again, I don't think anybody's really going to play it because you need to have 5 heroes in your graveyard. Disposable Learner Device. This card's, I don't know. It's a card. So equip monster gains 200 attack for each monster in your graveyard, which can be very, very powerful. During the end phase, if this card's in your graveyard because it was sent there from the field this turn, you can set this card but banish it when it leaves the field. So yeah, it's one of our better equipped spells, I guess. I don't know, just Book of Moons in the format, so I don't see it being that used. Pekuri, Circle of Enchantment, again, Bastion Misawa's card, and this is good for the format right now because the damage you take from card effects becomes 0 until the end of this turn, so pretty cool. UFO Roid Fighter, yeah, we figured we were getting him. And then Elemental Hero Necroid Shaman. Now we get into some of my most favorite cards from this. The skill cards are insane, guys. The skill cards are actually decent, and I was very surprised at how many of these I actually really, really liked. So number 1 is Chemistry in Motion, which by far might be my favorite one to come out of this. Once per turn, you can place a counter on this card, then apply the appropriate effect depending on the number of counters on this card. Discard a dinosaur monster, then add a dinosaur monster with a different attribute from your deck to your hand. If you have 2, you can normal summon wind or water dinosaur monsters from your hand. Or normal summon 1 wind or dinosaur monster from your hand. If you have 3, the names of all water dinosaur monsters you currently control become Hydrogeddon, and then add 1 bonding H2O from your deck or graveyard to your hand. If you have 4, you can remove all counters from this card, then change the attribute types of all face-up monsters your opponent currently controls to Fire Pyro until the end of this turn, which becomes really good with like your Hydrogeddon, your Oxygeddon, your Water Dragon. This card's actually really, really powerful. We're going to be seeing probably a lot of this in the upcoming meta. Next off, we're going to be looking at Heroes Unite Fusion. You can activate the skill during your main phase. Discard 1 card, then fusion summon Elemental Hero Fusion monster from your extra deck using materials from your hand or field as fusion material. This is a once per turn, I guess, or once per duel, I guess. I don't know. It's a skill that you can fusion summon, like Fusion Party, now that it's been errata, but for Elemental Heroes. But it also has this additional effect that says, if summoning an Elemental Hero Fusion monster this way that requires 3 or more materials, and you control 2 Elemental Hero monsters that are mentioned in the materials, you can also use monsters in your deck as fusion material. This skill can only be used once per duel. So if you have your Bubble Man and your Sparkman on the field, you can use this skill, discard a card from your hand, and send your Avion to the graveyard, and then summon your Tempest. Makes them playable, kind of cool. Also, you know, I don't know how many of us are going to be using it outside of that first effect. But yeah, the skill can only be used once per duel, so we might as well use Fusion Party, right? Next on our list is the Roids are all right. I think they're more than all right, guys. I think this is going to be a very playable deck in this format. Vehic Roid Connection Zone can be used to fusion summon any Roid monster from your extra deck. That is crazy. All Roid monsters whose original level are 6 or lower can be normal summoned set without tributing. That's also crazy. If a non-fusion Roid machine monster you control whose original level is 6 or lower attacks your opponent's monster, it gains attack equal to its own level times 100 during the damage step. That's also insane. And if you control a non-machine monster, flip this card over. This card is actually incredible for the format. Like, no doubt about it. This makes Roid so powerful. And he's in his Slifer Red Vest, so that's also really cool itself. Behold Gate Guardian is a really neat skill as well. Kind of makes Gate Guardian a little bit playable. Activate the skill during your main phase, shuffle your entire hand into the deck, then add 1 level 11 monster from your deck to your hand. And if you do, you can special summon up to 2 level 7 monsters with different attributes from your deck and or graveyard, but their attack and defense become 0. Also, their effects are negated. While you control Gate Guardian, it gains the following effects. Once while this face up on the field, when this card is targeted for an attack, you can change the attacking monster's attack to 0 until the end of the damage step. Yeah, this is cool. I didn't think the Gate Guardian skill was going to be that great to begin with, so it doesn't surprise me that you're only summoning 2 level 7 monsters and not all 3. Under Pressure, this is I know I said it about the last Bastion skill, but this is actually my favorite skill. It makes my favorite card, like we mentioned earlier, playable in the format, and it gives them a Serpent Night Dragon Nightmare Sonic Blast type effect. It's called Under Pressure. Activate the skill while you control Hyros and Ryu. Once per turn, you can reveal the top 4 cards of your deck. Then, if any of the following monsters are revealed, apply the appropriate skill in sequence, then place the revealed cards to the bottom of the deck in any order. If Carbonetton's revealed, you can make your monster gain 1,000 attack until the end of the turn. If Hydrogeddon is revealed, Hyos and Ryu you control is unaffected by your opponent's monster effects until the end of this turn. And Oxygeddon, you can destroy one face-up monster your opponent controls and inflict 800 damage to your opponent. So it's a very, very interesting card. Makes the card itself playable, and it's very, very cool to be seeing in this format. I'm very excited to see what cool decks I can come up with it. Next is Chillin' Out Back, which is a Chumley skill, and I'm super excited for this one. Chillin' Out Back is a really neat skill that works with koala and kangaroo monsters, and I think that's so cool. And when they're in the defense position, you can attack with them in defense position, and you can use their defense as their attack for the damage calculation, which is incredible. It makes like the Beast deck actually kind of playable right now, like the Sea Koala, the Death Wombat, the Death Kangaroo we got in the GX box. This deck is actually going to be like really interesting to see what comes out of it. I'm very excited to toy around with this. Hero World is also going to be, I think, the hero skill we actually use instead of the first skill that we mentioned earlier. It says once per turn, if you're a hero normal monster or hero fusion monster, you can discard one card and activate one of these skills based on the attributes of that monster. Earth. Destroy one Earth monster you control and one face-up monster your opponent controls. Insane. Clayman is now removal. Wind. Destroy one face-up spell trap card on the field. Insane. Avian's now removal. Fire. Return one face-up non-fire special summon monster on the field to the hand. Crazy. Burstinatrix, now a type of removal. Water. Draw one card. Also, until the end of this turn, you can activate one normal trap card from your hand. Oh my god, Bubble Man's great! And then Light, change the battle position, one face-up monster on the field. This makes the normal Elemental Hero deck actually a playable strategy, makes the deck actually really decent. I have a couple of cool ideas already brewing in my head for this, and I'm very excited for this. Next on our list is Power Bond, the powerful spell card that we all thought was going to come to this in Ruin Speed Duels, but they were smart enough to make it into a skill instead. Activate this skill during the main phase. Discard one card, then fusion summon one fusion monster from your extra deck using materials from your hand or field as fusion materials. If you do, it gains attack equal to its original attack until the end of this turn, but it cannot attack your opponent directly this turn. During the end phase of this turn, you take damage equal to the amount of attack gained at the time of the summon. Power Bond is going to be crazy this format. This is going to be one of the best things for Cyber Dragons, one of the best things for, I guess, any fusion-based machine deck in the future. Like another good one to think about is Ancient Gears. Another one to think about is, of course, the Roid deck that just came out with this. Power Bond is going to be very, very good. Beware of the Brothers Paradox. Look. We got the box name pretty much on this one. Apply the following skills. You can normal summon one level 7 monster for one less tribute. You can tribute summon one level 7 monster face up in addition to your normal summon set. Your opponent takes no effect damage. You can only attack with one monster per turn, but that monster can make a second attack on each monster during the battle phase. This is really interesting because it works with level 7 monsters, right? So we get to see, and it makes them pretty much one drops essentially. Like, oh my god, this skill is really, really good. Oh no, this skill is really, really good. Alright, so first thing that I think about when reading this, right, is any level 7 monster can be summoned off this. So it works with your Kaishijin, Suijin, all of them. But it also just makes it become, I normal summon, I normal summon Guy, I tribute Guy to normal summon level 7. And then my level 7 can be the only monster on the field that can attack, but it gets to attack twice. But only on monsters, so I guess that makes it a little bit fair. The first thing that I think about is like Tyrant Dragon, I guess, but Tyrant Dragon has that same sort of effect, but you get to just one drop the Tyrant Dragon, and I think that's crazy. Barrel Dragon's a good one to think about. Like one drop Barrel Dragon, he has removal, he's a 2600 beater. Like, oh man, this card opens up a window that probably shouldn't have been opened yet. Oh man, we'll see how this works in the format. Maybe there's something to the back I'm just not seeing. But if apply the following skills. Oh no, this is going to be something. Alright. Next is going to be Elements of Thunder, Water, and Wind. Activate the skill while your life points are 1,000 or less. You can normal summon Suijin, Kazijin, and Senga of the Sunder without tributing this turn. Or, if you can control any of these monsters, you can send as many cards on the field as possible to the graveyard to special summon one Gate Guardian from your deck, ignoring the summoning condition. So, that's cool. So, if you pay 2,000 life points, you normal summon any of these cards, you get to summon the Gate Guardian. That's really nice. I like that a lot. This kind of makes the deck, like, Gate Guardian more playable than ever before. So, yeah, this is a good card. Believe in your bro. This is the first duo skill we got, guys. This is actually really, really nice. Believe in your bro is a Jade and Cyrus skill. Once per turn, you can activate one of these skills based on the face-up materials you control. Element or hero. Discard one trap, then add one level 6 or lower Machine Roid monster from your graveyard to your hand. Then you can destroy one monster your opponent controls whose attack is less than or equal to the added cards. Machine Roid. Discard one spell, then special summon one level 6 or lower Machine Roid or Element or hero monster from your deck in defense position but negates effects. Both. Discard one card, then fusion summon one fusion monster using only Roid and Element Hero monsters you control. Each of these skills can only be used once per duel. So it's a really interesting skill. Like I said, it's our first duo skill, and I think it works like really cool because the Roid deck itself can just use the second part of the skill once per duel, which is the discard a spell, special summon a level 6 or lower Machine Roid monster from your deck in defense position, but negates effects. It gets your fusion material out that you need. I think that's really nice. And then the skill that makes Roids absolutely playable. Small Roid, Big City. It is the field spell skill. This field spell is insane. I was very hopeful to be seeing it. When I first looked through this video and saw we didn't get it, I was like, oh no. And then I saw it was the skill and I was like, no way. You get to start with it. Once per turn, you can target one other face-up card you can control and destroy it. Add one Roid card from your deck to your hand. Once per turn, when attack is declared involving an opponent's monster and a Roid monster you control, you can send one Roid monster from your deck to the graveyard and switch the attack and defense of the battling monsters during the damage calculation only. This is a very, very powerful skill, and oh my goodness, I'm so excited to be playing Roids this format. I was so worried that Roids were going to be unplayable, we weren't going to be able to see them, but I think it's going to be a very nice contender, at least on the rogue ladder for this deck. If you guys are excited for Midterm Paradox Box, and if you like this type of content, make sure you leave a like on the video, make sure you subscribe, and above all else, I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.